Today was going to be a quiet show, Dave. We were going to go through position by position, and we were going to be like, hey, who are some bargain bin free agents out there that maybe the Buffalo Bills could still pursue, and who are maybe some guys we're pivoting to in the draft to fill some of these needs that the Buffalo Bills still have. And sure enough, Brandon Beane gave us some ammunition to work with, because two of the guys that were in our show notes for today end up becoming
Mhm.
Buffalo Bills before this show even starts, in wide receiver Trent Sherfield and running
Mm.
back Damien Harris, who each signed 1-year deals to join the Buffalo Bills. We're going to talk about these guys and how they fit into the depth chart and where the Bills still have needs. We're going to talk about all of that tonight, but let's just start like Matt here, who says he's excited for a new power back with Harris. Sherfield, Harris, who are you more excited about and why?
Well, I mean, I'm more excited about Harris, I guess I would say, and
Mm-hmm.
that's because I feel like Harris is going to have a more clear path to making an immediate impact on the offense. Now, that's not to take away from what Trent Sherfield brings to the table as far as ability, size, hands. We know that special teams, but I think the running back room needed to be rounded out, right? You
Mm-hmm.
had your signing of Hardy, you had Gabe Davis and Shakir and Diggs there in the wide receiver room. So I think just from that standpoint, the sheer fact that you're able to round out that room with Damian Harris, knowing that Motor Singletary signed with the Texans not too long before that,
Mm-hmm.
that there was still a pretty big question mark around like what was that backfield going to look like? Was Naheem Hines going to kind of become the guy as far as like the second guy, but he's still kind of, probably going to be the primary return man with
Mm-hmm.
Hardy. We'll see. So it was just nice to round out that running back room. And I do think there's a path, obviously, for Damon Harris to get some meaningful snaps on offense. So excitement wise, Harris, I would say is the answer, but both guys really
Mm.
good fits, I think.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Trent Sherfield here, just to play a little bit of devil's advocate here. And the reason why is because I feel like Trent Sherfield allows the Buffalo Bills to be done at running back now that they've added Damian Harris. Now, of course, they're going to add bodies for training camp, or they could draft a guy, because I don't think Damian Harris's contract, we don't have the numbers yet, but it's not going to preclude you from taking Bijan Robinson if Bijan Robinson's
No.
on the board in the first round. Or if there's a guy who slips to the 5th or the 6th round, they're like, man, we had a 4th round grade on this dude. It's not going to stop the Buffalo Bills from drafting a running back, or maybe they find a guy in the UDFA market, because this is such a deep running back class, that has a Raheem Blackshear type of preseason. I don't think Damian Harris precludes you from
Nope.
keeping a 4th running back or cutting Damian Harris when it comes time to cut down in September. But Trent, you know what Trent Sherfield allows you to do? Only keep 3 running backs if you want to, because
Yes.
outside of being a quality 4th or 5th receiver in the National Football League with some speed to burn, inside outside flexibility, on top of being a really good run blocker, he's also a 4-phase special teamer who guns. And there was some video today posted on Twitter of him being a pretty significant gunner on punts in the National Football League. So now you have Trent Sherfield, you have Saran Neal, that no longer makes you have to go crawling back to Taiwan Jones, barring injury, at any point this offseason. And the Buffalo Bills have the luxury of going 7 deep at wide receiver and 3
Mm.
deep at running back, keeping a 10th offensive lineman and going 3 deep at running back. So we're going to get more into the specifics of why Trent Sherfield is awesome over the course of the show tonight. But I think the number one reason why I love that signing is because it kind of takes Taiwan Jones out of play.
Well, and you hit on it, right?
Mm,
You have been pretty vocal, and I've been in agreement with you around
yeah.
the roster construction and not wasting roster spots on purely special teams only guys. Now there's gonna always be a few,
Yeah.
but that Taiwan Jones as that 4th running back was really kind of a waste. So at the end of the day, you get a guy in Sherfield who
Mm-hmm.
can bring something to the table on offense if called upon. In the snaps that he got with Miami, he was reliable, and we know he's got really good hands. He had one of the lowest drop rates in the NFL, one of the best yak above expected in the NFL, as I pointed out today. So, like, there is a little juice there that he can bring you on offense as well. So it's not a total, it's not like a total waste of a roster spot. And I say waste somewhat, cynically there with Taiwan, but Sherfield does give you more
Mm-hmm.
flexibility in that regard.
Yeah, looking at this, a great comment here from Renaissance Man. He goes, we go from Motor, who was 4.6640, Moss, who's 4.6540, to Cook, who's 4.42, Harris, who's 4.57, Hines, who's 4.38. So outside of Harris, who that's not the greatest 40 in the world for running back, but it's not terrible either. The addition of Hines, the addition of Cook last season, and now probably put into a more prominent role this season shows that maybe Brandon Beane is going to expect a little bit more speed from this running back room. And it's good to have a running back that sort of counteracts that. I feel like the last couple of years, we've been lacking sort of a different type of running back in the room. They've all been sort of similar in one way or another. Now, I know
Yeah.
Devin Singletary and James Cook are different, but they were both lacking sort of like in that ability to get the tough yards between the tackles, be a punishing runner, like making guys who try to tackle high pay for that mistake and drag them an extra 5-6 yards. Quality running backs and James Cook, who's going to be probably the feature back this year, quality running back in Devin Singletary, but it was probably time for him to go, despite the fact that you probably argue Devin Singletary is a better running back than Damien Harris. It was probably time for him and that skill set to go and this skill set of Damien Harris to come in.
Yeah, and I put a tweet right before the show, right, as far as the splits. If
Mm-hmm.
you look at their splits, Devin Singletary and Damon Harris both came in the league in 2019 on a per game basis. Um, really quite similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damon Harris in his career, 11.8 attempts per game. Devin Singletary, 11. Damien Harris, 55.1 yards per game. Devin Singletary, 51.7. 20 touchdowns for Damien Harris to Singletary's 16. Now, Singletary added a little more juice receiving, but Damien Harris only 3 career fumbles on all
Mm-hmm.
those totes. So I just think for what the Bills need from a fit right now, as Pops Mafia says, I think it's just a better
Yeah.
fit. And that's what a lot of these free agent signings come down to is fit. Guys want to go to a place where they feel like they can contribute, and teams are looking for
Mm-hmm.
specific types of players. And it's not that different from the draft, right? You're looking for specific guys that will fit what you want to do. And Motor is a great back. Wish him nothing but the
Mm-hmm.
best in Houston. I think it'd be a great compliment to Dameon Pierce. But for the fit, I think Harris is just a better fit right now.
Yeah, Nikki G comes in. I haven't seen a single person like try to douse any water on this signing at this point. Every Bills fan loves this signing period. Now, there probably are. I haven't had a chance to read. I've been really busy today. So busy, in fact, that I think I've misspelled Dante Hardy's name like 15 times on Twitter. I've been so busy today. It's been Hard. It's been Harris. I just keep screwing up his name today because I've been working and tweeting at the same time. But every Bills fan, I haven't checked essentially what I'm saying is I haven't checked my comment section yet. I'm sure there are some people who are sad that it's not Derrick Henry or sad that it's not Austin Eckler, but I think they'll get over it real quick because I think Damien Harris, as you mentioned, is a good sort of blend into this room. And the contract details are not out yet. It's been asked, the contract details are not out yet. They are not out yet. And that leads us to another statistic too that I think is a nice one, talking about the difference between Singletary and Harris. When you want guys to get those tough yards, when you want to close a game out with a running back that's not Josh Allen, right? Devin Singletary, 13 career fumbles. Damien Harris, 3 career fumbles. I think that's a statistic that was a little bit eye-popping that Greg Tomsett shared in the Cover One group chat. Somebody mentioned that in the comment section of one of his tweets. So to me, that is a eye-popping statistic and one that really sticks out to me.
Yeah, and that's always been kind of like the one thing that's really been an Achilles heel
Mm-hmm.
for Singletary is like he'll get in these grooves, he'll get going, he'll be looking like he's heading for like a pretty good game, and he'll just have like a killer fumble, or a mental lapse, right? And I just, ball security is huge, especially in this situation right now where the Bills are really playing with very fine margins against these top teams in the AFC. Every little kind of margin counts here. And so ball security being paramount, that is something that you definitely need to look at as Harris having the edge.